Guys, so my headphones fell out. I've been thinking a little bit about some stuff. Just philosophizing, I guess, and the lighting in here is shit. That's a little bit better. Yeah, so I don't know, it's like 4:30 in the morning right now. But I've been thinking about some things like habits, for example. Things that we've got ingrained into our brain which we just do impulsively, or we feel like we have to do it. And I've been thinking about ways. I think the cat turned to the bed. I've been thinking about like ways to get rid of these and perhaps override them. And like maybe not override, like overcome. So let's say you've got this habit where you might crave a chocolate bar. Yeah, you might crave a chocolate bar or something. And it's like when you're trying to resist the temptation to eat the chocolate, it can be extremely overpowering, can't it? It can take up a lot of willpower, and in the end eventually you just give in and you're like, fuck it, I'm just going to eat that chocolate bar. And yeah, so one way I've been thinking about doing this is, and it does work, because it's, as you know, it's just been Christmas, and I got dark chocolate in my room, and I don't know, I got about 4 of them from about 3 different people for Christmas, and 3 of them are already gone. And I don't know, I just wake up in the morning and be like, fuck it, I feel like eating chocolate, so that's what I do. And yeah, I don't know, like, it'd make me feel good in the moment, but after I'd feel sick and I wouldn't like it. But then I'd go back and do it again. And I don't know, there's a transcendental meditation technique which is, rather than just trying to silence your mind, because trying to silence your mind isn't going to work. When you try and do something, you're creating resistance and you're essentially working in the opposite direction to the way you want it to go. So what you do is, in transcendental meditation, you pick a word, but it's like a made up word, so something that you can't really link any meaning to, or grow any ideas or topics or conversations within your mind off of that word. You won't be able to do that with a made up word. Maybe you will, but it's going to be a lot harder to make them connections than if you chose a mainstream word which you've probably got some familiarity with and something that you're able to link to it. So it can be like any word, like va or ika, I don't know, something like that. And what you do is, in your head, while you've got your eyes closed, you keep saying that word over and over in your mind, and each time you say it, you're blocking out any other thought pattern that can come into your mind, so you're completely focused in on that word, and you just keep saying it in your head, and it'll start to it's like your mind will get tired of actually saying the word. You'll just sort of want to shut down, and eventually you'll be saying like the words so quietly, and it'll just disappear, and your mind will be completely blank. And if you notice thoughts popping up, you can just go straight back to that word and keep saying it. So anyway, the point of me bringing that up was because if we can translate that sort of mind activity into our daily routines, and things like resisting eating chocolate bars, I guess we could do it where we eat so much that it makes us feel sick, and we eventually stop getting the temptation to do it. It just becomes old, it becomes dull, and kind of want to search for maybe a new high, a new way to satisfy its needs, and that's where we can come in and bring in perhaps a more like a better way of satisfying our needs without being unhealthy or without going down the wrong path in life. See, we gotta rewire our brain. Like, when you try and resist the chocolate, that makes you want it more. But if you just tell yourself you can have as much as you want, then that's going to release a lot of resistance. You're not going to want it as much anymore. And I found that actually does work. I feel like you have to be mindful of it. Like, you have to actually have the intention to not want to turn to the sugary foods anymore. You have to have that in your mind. Otherwise, no one would be obese, would they? Because everyone would be, well, all the like obese people and diabetic people, the people who've like got diabetes through based on diet, they wouldn't have that because they would have hit that point where they were like got fed up with eating and they just stopped. So you must have to have some kind of awareness in that area to be able to actually want to change, I guess. Like, you have to actually intend to change. We can use this in so many areas of our life. I'm trying to think of any other examples. Like, there's a chocolate one. I guess if you're wanting to get into exercising, but you're struggling to find that motivation, I guess you could sit in bed all day. Like, eventually, after sitting in bed for so long and just doing mindless activities, and your mind's it's gonna want to force you to do something. You're gonna want to look for something better to do. And you're gonna have to go through some shit times before you actually get to that point, because that's what's gonna sustain it for you in the future. You're gonna remember that, the moments of just sitting and disallowing yourself to do